There we go. All
Oh,
right.
you got me?
I got you now.
Okay, good. Good to see everyone.
Everybody else hearing Richard okay? Good. Well, Richard, we appreciate you taking some time out to answer some media questions about your upcoming enshrinement. We also want to thank the growing number here. I'll do some of the ground rules while a few more get logged in. Of course, I've already got about 7-8 hands raised. You guys know the drill. That's how we will identify the next questioner, Richard. I will call them out and then ask them to please repeat their name and affiliation for you in advance of asking their question. The session will last about a half an hour, and we are recording, and we'll make that recording available on our media site almost immediately after it ends. So we just ask that you ask one question until we get through, and if there's some time left, we'll circle back if you have some follow-ups. So, Richard, you ready?
Oh, I'm ready to go. Actually, I've had my coffee this morning, and I had it out of the Hall of Fame cup. I don't know if you can see it. So
beautiful.
This has been my cup of choice here lately. I tease all my other friends. I'm like, you can have coffee, but you ain't had no Hall of Fame coffee. So
that's right. There's only Hall of Fame coffee for you from now on. So, all right, we're going to start. Kyle Nash, I think you were first in and first hand up. Yeah, you go first. And James Harris, you're on deck.
Hey, Richard. Yeah, Kyle Nash with the 3-point conversion. I hope you're drinking tea out of that mug as well as your friends watch. But at any rate, welcome to Canton. First of all, congratulations on your induction upcoming.
Thank you.
When people talk about the Patriots dynasty, most often they talk about the offensive side of the ball. Do you feel like your enshrinement helps put a little bit of shine on that defense that doesn't get enough credit for the accolades that group had?
Well, I'll say this, it's interesting because like everybody who was close to the 2001 when we beat the Rams, when we also beat, I think, the Panthers and Philly. Like, so really those first 3 Super Bowls, like they were all defensive led teams. Like so I think for us, like the shift really started to happen, like right after that. Like, and that's when Brady really became Brady, and then it really just took off. And, just like anything, offense sells. So I totally get it. But, those early teams were led by, the defense, Rodney Harrison, Ty Law, Brewski, McGinnis, Vrabel. So, I think for us, when you think about Wilfork and Ty Warren on the defensive line. So I think for us, we all understand it was a defensive team, and people even in that region, the New Englanders, like they understand what the defense, like we were actually called like the homeland of defense at that time. So, but I'm happy that, Brady and the offense took off and controlled the clock and made our job a whole lot easier.
Thank you, Kyle. James Harris, and then Alec Lace.
Thank you. Hi, Richard. Congratulations. James Harris.
Thank you.
Yes, James Harris with Sports Stars of Tomorrow. Our show really kind of focuses on the early days and the journey of how you got to the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Growing up there in South Carolina, can you talk about, was there a defining moment along the way or a moment where you realized, gosh, I've got a legitimate chance to be a professional football player? Just your early memories of growing into this.
Well, I think for me, I tell everybody all the time, I had a really balanced childhood in terms of, my mom and dad. And my mom really taught me, kindness and empathy for people. And my dad gave me the rearing of discipline and treating people the right way and being a man of honor and a man of your word. And so, so it was a balance of having like a combination of both, the tough love, but then also the nurturing side. And so I just think it made me a well-rounded person so I could relate to everybody. And I just think it just helped me naturally become a leader, right? And I had the ability, but, working with my dad in summers, teaching me, what it meant to work hard. And I firmly felt like that's kind of where I got my foundation. And, from there, it just grew. Like a lot of stuff was just God gifted. It ain't like I could take a whole lot of credit for it, but, there's a lot of gifts that you can have, but you have to hone those skills. And so for me, I have to credit my parents just in terms of the balance that they gave me growing up.
Thank you, James. Alec Lace, and then Rick Henry.
Richard, what's doing? I'm Alec Lace. I host First Class Fatherhood. So cool to hear you talk about your parents there. Obviously, getting into the Hall of Fame here cements your legacy in the NFL. But more importantly, what do you want your legacy to be as a father?
Oh, wow. I say all the time, I'm a firm believer that your riches are in your family. And that's why I'm a blessed man now, is because of my kids and my wife. And they were on this journey with me. So, I want to teach my kids, being a man of your word, being a woman of respect and honor and dignity, all of those things, matter to me. And so I don't take that lightly. I'm just a firm believer in my kids treating, everybody that they encounter, the right way. And so that's just important to me.
Well said. You're a first-class father all the way. Congratulations on making it to the Hall.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you, Alex. Rick Henry, then Julian Benbow.
Hi, Richard. Good to see you again, and congratulations on the big honor.
Thank you so much. How you doing, Rick?
Hey, I'm doing great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Hey, as someone who grew up basically, in rural South Carolina, in the shadow of Columbia, what sense of pride do you get from making it to the Pro Football Hall of Fame, especially being a source of inspiration for kids coming along now?
Yeah, I'll say this, just in terms of being from South Carolina, it's a part of my foundation, it'll always be a part of my legacy. I had a lot of great memories there, a lot of, people who poured into my life. And, it formed and shaped, the man that I am today. And so actually, to that point, my high school principal, Mr. Titus Dorn from Lower Richland, he's going to be my presenter as I'm enshrined to Canton. And so, he's had the cameras going down to, interview him and talk about, what I've done for the school there and that sort of thing. So he's been a pillar in the community. And I wanted somebody from South Carolina. Obviously, if my dad was still living, he'd be the one to have this moment. But, there's really nobody better that has this finger and pulse on the community like Mr. Doran has. He's always been a proud supporter of ours. He's been, he not only just going to school there in high school, but like he knows your family. Like he was, he really cared about the little things that was going on. And, if something was going on, he called my dad or he called my mom or, so I knew he cared. Even though he wanted me to go to Clemson, I ended up being a Bulldog.
All right. Thank you. Again, congratulations.
No, thank you so much.
Thanks, Rick. Up next, Julian, and then we'll go to Skylar Dixon.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, no problem. I was just curious. I've heard you say repeatedly that you value impact over statistics, right? And I thought that was a pretty neat thing. And then when I hear your anticipation, I was wondering how did those become sort of integral parts of your game? And then is it kind of funny in the ways that you kind of put kind of the team first, the individual stuff, and then the team success came with it,
Yeah, no, certainly. I think it really kind of goes back to my values that my parents taught me. And then being a competitor, I hate to lose. So, at the end of the day, like winning is the most important thing that, you know, you can do, because it makes everything better, right? It makes film the next time you watch it, it makes that better, you know. So I guess for me, like we'd have a saying with the Patriots that, you know, stats can be for losers. Like, hey, this is what I've done, right? But it's a team sport. So you want to win. And I think, you know, for me, like I was asked to do selfless things where I had the 2-gap or whatever we needed to do, or my rookie year, I played out of position, a position that I wasn't really comfortable with, but I did it because the team needed me there. And so really, I think my story is a story of, you know, of impact, because it was selfless and it was about the team and being a competitor. But I guess the bigger picture for me is, as long as the team valued what I was bringing to the table, and they showed it in terms of my contracts and that sort of thing. So I knew they valued me, and they told me they valued me, and they made me one of the highest paid defenders. And then when I got to Oakland, I was the highest paid defender. So like, I knew I was valued, but you know, it was, hey, this is what we need you to do. And so that's just always my philosophy.
Thanks, man. Congrats again.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you, Julian. Skylar, you're up, and next would be Jay Nelson.
Thanks, Richard. Congratulations. This is a little bit related to that. The Patriots were just the second team to win 3 Super Bowls in 4 years, and those were your first 4 years in the league. I wondered, how much pride do you take in that, and how much do you think that had to do with you getting in?
You know, anytime you can, you know, be a multi-time, you know, Super Bowl champion, played in, you know, 4 Super Bowls, you know, winning 3, and, you know, played multiple positions along the defensive line. And that's why I talked about, for me, it's about the body of work, and not just one game or one play, right? It's about being consistent over a course of a career. And I just think, for me, at the end of the day, you know, my coaches and team value you. And then, you know, just to kind of, you know, think about it for me, and from my lenses and perspective, you know, once you taste success on a high level, you can't go back to, hey, we're not making the playoffs, or we're not, so for us, it was about a drive, and you didn't want to be the person to let the team down. Like, you didn't want to, so we had a bond, you know, with teammates, and, you know, they were like our brothers, and we felt like a sense of responsibility to one another. And I think when you have a culture like that, and it breeds success and it breeds winning, you know, that's really what it's all about at the end of the day. But the Super Bowl certainly helped my case for being in Canton.
Thank you, sir. Jay Nelson, and then Chris Osborne.
How you doing, sir? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I got you.
Oh, awesome. Hey, Jay Nelson from Sideline Sports. First off, congratulations on the induction.
Oh, thank you so much, bro.
All right, and so I would like to ask, what is the most sound advice out of any coach you've ever had that helped you the most in your career? Whether it was a past coach and you just kind of hung on to that value or advice, what advice and from whom helped you the most in your career that kept you going?
Oh, wow, man. It's so many, you know, because I had so many great coaches to help me get to this point. You know, it's not like it's just one person. I mean, even through high school, I just think, you know, especially as a defensive lineman, well, you have position stuff, and then you have like high level mentality things that help you get to a certain level, right? But I think, for me, it's like, you know, what have you done for me lately, in a sense, like in terms of being a competitor? Like, you did it one year, can you turn around? Can you do it again? And so that really brings out a competitive spirit and a competitive edge in terms of, what is it that you're about? And so for me, like just being a competitor, what I did last year didn't matter. Now we got to build upon that. And so the natural instinct is when you get a reward, it's like, okay, well, you made it. Well, if you can put that to a side, and that's what I think as players, like we try not to reflect a whole lot. Obviously being in the Hall of Fame now, this is a moment to reflect back about what you've done. But as a player, like I never really looked back and looked at, my success and, Pro Bowls and being a member of All Decade and that sort of thing. It was really about pushing forward and, continuing to be, the best defensive lineman that I could.
Awesome. Cool. Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Congratulations once again.
Indeed.
Thank you, Jay. You're up, Chris. And next would be Quentin.
All right. Hey, Chris Osborne with Sports and Culture Media. Mr. Richard, congrats on the Hall of Fame nod. It was definitely something I was looking forward to for you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
So, I want to go back to your time at Georgia. You and Marcus Stroud had by far dominance in the SEC. I mean, you guys really anchored a defense that was just amazing, especially in 2000. You guys really held your own when you weren't surrounded with elite talent everywhere. I want to go back, though, to some of the early years, freshman, sophomore year. Name me a coach. It could be Jim Donnan, Gary Gibbs, who really influenced you the most at Georgia to get you guys to being both top 15 draft picks. I mean, who was the guy that really shaped you into an NFL Hall of Famer?
Yeah, I'd have to, it's an easy decision for me. It's Rodney Gardner, who, kind of coached everywhere in the SEC now. But Coach Gardner was, he was very influential in my career. He taught me so much about defensive line play and, pushing me to continue to strive to be at my best all the time. And, even also Marcus, like when I first got to University of Georgia, like Marcus was on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Right.
So that was, he was busting out of a University of Florida shirt and he had the Georgia Bulldogs up under there. And he was a year ahead of me. And so I didn't redshirt, so I was with him my entire career at Georgia. But he was someone that, kept me striving to reach the level that he was at the time. And so it was just and I'm very competitive. So and we have a brotherhood, but it was also a competitive spirit where, he kind of liked that torch.
I got you. Thanks for your time and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Quentin, you're up. And next will be Fago Franklin.
Hey, Richard, how you doing? Congratulations on your induction.
Thank you so much.
Okay, how vital were Bill Belichick and Romeo Crennel were in your development as a player as well as a person? Do you have any funny stories of it?
Yeah, you know what? So when I first got to the NFL, our first defensive meeting, like Romeo Crennel was the defensive coordinator, and he gave us some stuff to and this was all rookies, by the way. He gave us an assignment, and we were supposed to come back the next day and have an understanding of what's going on. And just from like college, like when they gave us like work to do with football, like I was like, I kind of blew it off, right? So the next day we come in and he asked me some questions about what was going on. And I had no clue because I didn't even look at the assignment, right? And he ripped me a new one that day in front of all of the other rookies. And I was the first round guy. So I think with him ripping me in front of all of the other draft picks, it really kind of set the tone for everybody in terms of the expectations. And so even from that moment forward, I kind of realized that, okay, well, I think I got to study when I get to the league. So it was kind of funny. But even for them, they had so much knowledge and experience. Like I was just able to soak it all up. as a young player, because I was talented, but I had so much to learn in terms of how to really be a true pro, take care of my body, all of the things that it took to have longevity. And I was fortunate because I was on a veteran team too. So all of those things that I learned under, Coach Belichick, Romeo Crennel, Pepper Johnson, all of the, coaches that we had really helped me in my development throughout my career.
All right, Richard, thank you and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
Fago Franklin and then Don Stinson.
Hey, how you doing today? This is Fago Franklin III with New Stitch Media. What does it mean to you to see more inclusion and diversity in the NFL now these days?
Yeah, I think it makes it a better product. For one, when you can have inclusion, diversity between organizations, I just think it makes it an overall better product. And, anything is better when everyone's voice is heard. Black, white, gay, straight, man, woman. When we have everybody included, we can get everyone's perspective, and it just, at the end of the day, it makes our game a whole lot better. And also, as management, ownership, everyone shares that responsibility to make our game a much better place.
Thank you and congratulations.
Thank you.
Don Stinson will be followed by Bill Williamson.
How you doing today, Richard? Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
On and off the field, their family, coaches, players, all of them have contributed to your success. What would you say is the one thing or the one thing you took pride in that you felt got you to this position?
Man, first for me, like, to have the God-gifted ability, obviously that's where it all comes from. But then, as I stated earlier, just my parents and, their dedication to, teaching me what it meant to be, a well-rounded person. And I think that, because football will take care of itself. Like, you love it, you play it, like that's a part of it. But they taught me what it really meant to, care about people and, take care of the details, do the little things right. And, I was always very meticulous about all the little small details. I never wanted anybody to have an edge on me. So, I just think from that mindset, and I just hated to lose at anything that I did. So it just made me want to compete all the time. And and then sometimes too, the reason that you get what you want in life is because you don't quit. Like, that can be that simple. Like, when you have a relentless attitude to say, like, I don't care what anybody else says, this is what I'm going to do. And so, like, that mindset is, and then, like, it's a skill that you have to continue to, develop. It isn't something that you're just born with. Hey, you just roll out of bed and you may have the gifts to do it, but if you don't hone in on those skills and pay attention to details and all the little things and nutrition and whatever else, like it's not just one specific thing. It's a culmination of so much to reach the pinnacle. And now, I've embraced it, and, I feel validated and, inspired.
Richard, Bill Williamson, SB Nation. Good talking to you again.
No, thank you so much.
Obviously, your career is known with the Patriots and Super Bowl wins, but you finished with the Raiders 4 years. What are your memories of those last 4 seasons?
Well, it's an honor to go out and play with, another legendary, owner and franchise in Al Davis. And Al Davis, he's a great leader. And I was able to learn so much from him, just in terms of, his attention to detail, his will to win. You know, he was a coach, he was a commissioner. You know, what he's meant to the game of football. And, you know, as the mantra goes, once a Raider, always a Raider. And so, you know, I valued my time there. And I was able to take all of the lessons that I learned with my Patriots career and really be able to share that knowledge and wisdom and insight with so many other young players in Oakland at the time.
Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Next up, Peter Holland, then William Stein.
Hey, Richard. This is Peter Holland of the Ken Repository. My question for you is, from all the years and all the great linemen that you went up against, who would you say was your toughest competitor?
Oh, wow, man. It's a lot of great offensive linemen that I went up against. But, man, I'd probably have to say Jonathan Ogden. You know, he was, I don't know, maybe 6'9", about 360, allegedly 360. He could be heavier than that. You know, but, you know, Willie Roaf. You know, it's a lot of other really great linemen that, you know, really brought the best out of me. And so, you know, but to have the ability to compete against those guys, you know, you relish that opportunity. And, you know, obviously I played against Larry Allen as well, who's another, you know, Hall of Fame guard, you know. So all three of those guys are in Canton now. So to have my name mentioned with theirs is, you know, and bound with theirs forever in the Pro Football Hall of Fame is truly an honor.
Thanks, Richard. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go to William, and Alec has a follow-up, and that'll probably wrap us up. So bring us home, William.
Hey, Richard, this is William Stein with the Gary Stein and Stevens Show. You've played with a lot of great teammates over your years with New England and Oakland, Tom Brady being one of those teammates. Out of all the teammates that you've played with, what was the teammate that taught you the most? And what did you learn? How did that help you become a better football player overall in your career?
Yeah, no, thank you for that question, man. Like, you know, to that point, you know, there's so many teammates, you know, and I learned so much from so many of my former teammates. You know, whether it's Willie McGinnis, you know, just teaching me what it means to be a pro and taking care of your body, right? You know, Rodney Harrison teaching me how to really practice and what that really means. And he learned that from Junior Seau. So like all of these lessons are really kind of handed down and passed down. And so for me, I wanted to do the same. But it's, you know, like I said, so Willie McGinnis, Teddy Bruschi, Mike Vrabel, Rodney Harrison. You know, I was the young guy, you know, Anthony Pleasant, you know, he was my, you know, spiritual leader. You know, Ty Law taught me how to find joy in the struggle. And so, you know, all of these guys have been, you know, great sounding boards for me to, you know, listen to and take advice from. And I was very fortunate to have them because they, you know, helped made me not only a better player, but, you know, a better man as well.
Thank you for answering. I appreciate that. That gives me a lot more insight. So thank you.
No worries.
Richard, we've got a couple of folks who have asked one question, but do have one more. Are you good for a couple more minutes?
Yeah, sure, certainly.
All right, so folks, we're going to let Alec and Skylar and Quentin ask one last question, and that'll be it. And Alec, you're up.
Yeah, Richard, I heard you speak a lot in this session about the values instilled in you by your parents and that kind of balance, the dichotomy of their parenting styles. And obviously, you're known for playing one of the toughest positions in the game of football. So I'm curious, what type of disciplinarian are you as a father? And is that different than the discipline style you grew up with?
Not a whole lot different from what I grew up with. But I will say for me, like, I always tell my kids, do what you're told, when you're told, and with a respectful attitude, right? So if your mom tells you to go, I don't know, clean out something in your closet and you don't go do it, well, now dad's gonna come and we're gonna have a sit down. You know, so anyway, like I just want them to have the responsibility and to take care of the details, do the little things right. And I always tell my kids too, like I don't control whether I get on you in terms of something that you haven't done. Like you decide that by your actions. Like, so if you don't want these problems and things going on, like, okay, we'll take care of your business and we're all good. So I think they've started to understand that now. But
very cool. Well,
I will say this, having 2 boys and 2 girls, man, I may have to say something different to the girls that I don't have to the boys. Like the boys kind of get it. The girls, oh man, I'm telling you, it's a lot different story with the girls.
yeah, I got 3 boys and a girl myself. You're right on there with that. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Not a problem. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Dixon.
Thank you, sir. More generally, Richard, I wondered about sort of the highlights for you with life after football, and more specifically as a blackjack guy. I believe I read that you got into professional poker a little bit. Do you still consider yourself a professional poker player, or have you moved on from that career?
Well, I've never considered myself a professional poker player. A lot of other people considered me that, just kind of, based on some earnings that I had. But, I will say this, like I enjoyed the game. It's a great hobby in terms of playing poker. It's a lot of correlations in terms of the discipline that it takes to play at a very high level. And it pulls a lot from you, no different than, it comes back down to, like, I'll say the difference. So like when you play any other game in the casino, whether it's blackjack or, roulette or whatever, you're actually playing against the casino, right? But in poker, you're playing against the guy beside you. And that's the only game where you're competing against other people. And then you add in the discipline, the psychology, the mindset of different players. So when you kind of add all of that up together, like I just enjoy the mental battle and the discipline that it takes to play at a very high level. So, but anyway, it's a great hobby, and it's a fun outlet. I get with a lot of my guys, even now to this day, and that lives in the community with me, and we have, whether it's every other week we'll have a poker game, and it's some business owners and that sort of thing, and we'll just get together and have some fun. And especially during when the season's on, we'll watch Monday Night Football and have the game going and have some food catered in, and it's another sense of, like, it's a sense of the locker room where you have the camaraderie with your friends and just be able to have some fun.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
Last question goes to Quentin, and Richard, want to take this opportunity to thank you and thank everybody who did participate, and we appreciate the coverage at the Hall of Fame. So Quentin, you got the last word.
All right, Richard, out of all the 3 Super Bowls that you participated in, how often did those distant relatives of those long lost friends contacted you for Super Bowl tickets?
Well, you know what? You always get a ton of requests for the Super Bowl tickets, and I totally get it. And I'd always try to pick out some people that supported me throughout my career, and me and my wife would select and just kind of give them a call and say, hey, we want you to come and support Richard at the Super Bowl. And it was a great honor to be able to share that experience with them, and also to thank them for what they've done. But trust me, you get a ton of requests. But I was fortunate to have a good team around me, so I could just kind of pass that on and put that on the desk of somebody else, and let me focus on the game.
Okay, thank you again, Richard. Congrats again.
Not a problem. Thank you.
All right, Richard, thank you for your time. Everybody, just quick background for you. Richard's first public appearance in Canton will be at the Hall of Fame game on August 4th with the Raiders. who are coming into town partly to celebrate his enshrinement and the Jaguars. He will get his jacket on Friday, August 5th, and be enshrined on Saturday, August 6th, and that starts at noon this year. So a couple of changes. Richard, we're really looking forward to seeing you in Canton, just 22 more days.
No, certainly. I certainly appreciate that. And I remember the last we talked, have we got an understanding of the order of enshrinement and how what that looks like?
The speech order?
Yes.
We will be announcing that in the next day or two, and
Okay.
and you'll see where you slot in there, sir.